Right. Fambulem, once again, this is not the TNN TV media empire. Today, the 18th of February, 2022, me now una host and presenter, they bring to una another edition of the Then and Now Media Empire programs, who they broadcast live on Facebook. This now a special one, a very special one. Again, we don't capture the heart and the minds and the soul of Sierra Leonean people, and because it involve obviously whichever way you look, two heavyweights in our country. They may be controversial, they may be entitled to all kinds of names, but they are two heavyweights. If we can listen to what in one of the character them involved say, it described the union as two strong women, something we're very keen on. Anyway, today is about the story of Fatima and Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN. First Lady Fatima Bio and Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN. Remember, this call this broadcast is a call-in broadcast. But before we go to that, una give me a few minutes, make I develop some background, some context, if you like. The two people that involved in this particular program today fell out of friendship, if you go like that. And at the time, the friendship, it was a lopsided friendship in which one person be extremely powerful in many respects, get connections, you get access and get some, access to power, to influential people, to money, and you name it. And the other person involved, was just somebody way been there below the ladder in many respects. In other words, been a struggle. But times change as we come along. So before then, the person will be influential, will happen for be Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN, being get some connection with this other lady where eventually fates change and became the first lady of an entire country. So during that period there with this current first lady being in struggle, of course, Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN was highly placed, highly put, highly influential, and get connections, so she could make things happen. So anybody at the time, especially if you did below the ladder, go look for associate or be an associate of Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN. Okay, but that relationship was soon to fall apart. Woman herself can get ego in some respects. Some can get envious mind, and I'm not implying in any case or form as at yet that somebody being get big ego, somebody being get envious mind. I just imply that potentially this could have been some of the characteristics in this relationship, because eventually we can't foresee waiting get for happen. Anyway, going on, the relationship fall bad. Okay, the two people scatter bad way. When I say bad way, one of the way they call bad when the relationship scatter. Now we una decide for wash una dirty linen in public. That shows how toxic that relationship has become, because una not decide for be like grown-up adults and handle them in-house. Una let the things spill out to the public, and the public became a part of something will be unsavory, on characteristics supposedly of some people at the time. But of course, now there's a different perspective. So today, Fambulem, we want to look at this relationship and from an angle where una the people themselves go get for opine as to how una see them. So the relationship fall bad. We see the public's part. We hear the vitriol, or we see the vitriol thrown on either side by either side. We see that they publicly. Okay, up to the culmination of where they behold the constituency 110. Yes, I remember that vividly, because then Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN been there on the offensive. Then, if you like, if you understand the offensive defensive strategy, she was on the offensive. Fatima, the first lady, was in the defensive. Because imagine somebody sabi a few things about you way not good at all in many respects. I mean, in terms of society, the kind character way you go like for let people and know you for, a turn out for be say no, it is not. So somebody knows some dark secrets about you. It become difficult when that person they go on the attack for let you respond in kind, because you hate or will not like for that secret they for common ado. And the other person we armed with the secrets see say it get an undue advantage, so therefore it continue for push. And I'm not making on any of this up because all of this was public. We just they emphasize this because we not mix pan the paparazzi sleazy stuff. That's not what we are after on this platform. On this platform, we want to get an analytical view or a critical analysis of issues. So even though this story looks sleazy, but in the end, there is an element where we think say is behind the story. Pardon me. There's an element where I think say behind the story in which you get for do with national politics. It's not an ordinary story. The two people involved are not ordinary people, and then the timing as well is very critical to this analysis. So today, Salon Fambulem, I dey hope say when I go pick up the phone and call, not a long call, 1 or 2 minutes, you just opine. I'm sure you have a view. We've seen some of the views on social media, both for and against. And that same thing they would expect Naya on this platform here tonight. The other day we missed over 103 calls. The last time where we do a calling program, and una forgive me for that. My phone been there on silent, and I've been the sort of could be supposed for help or of the get something else way more important than the program. So we've been here for revert back to go to be more important for Ram. So my phone day on today and I dey pay attention to Ram so that I not get for miss that number of calls. Okay. I go soon declare the phone lines open Fambulem, and when I go see on the screen the number is there, so nobody no need for struggle forget the number. So tonight we will talk about the publics between two giant our time in presence of First Lady Fatima Bio and Dr. Sylvia Olayinka BLYDEN. Confusion between them, this confusion you go call them between them. Palaver, as we go call them our local parlance between them. And that public, and it became very, very public, very, very public. And some of the verbiage used then was not good for the ears, especially for younger people and even older people. And this was quite telling for two grown adults, bring them public's partner, the public domain, and things the way them in they say, my goodness. But anyway, in the end, an olive branch was extended. I don't know by whom, but I know that has been going on for a while. And the reason why I say this has been going on for a while, and this is the thing about critical analysis, because you get for look at the timing, you get for look at the situation, you get for do root cause analysis for let you arrive, deduce, adduce, your conclusion. And Fambul, and the reason why I say this has been going on for a while, it's not just a dip in the frying pan like it just happened suddenly. No, it did not. There's been negotiations going on in the background. Somebody will have approached somebody to make peace. And the reason again why I say this, let me make an attempt for explain this. Una know say Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN on they pull audio after audio. It on the right after right. It on they respond to issues them, even when they were not supposed to respond to. But of course, it getting right. Than in business, how you conduct in business. But as a public person, and this I want to make them very, very clear. We don't go after people in the private capacity. The reason why we talk about these two people as such is because they are very public figures, and Fambule need for understand this, because sometimes when you talk about public figures, you get people who feel offended, not only how you talk about them, but just the idea because they become a subject of your analysis or of your program. Fambule, Muna, let me understand something. The two people are public figures. And public figures, we can take them picture and put on, as long as it's respectfully done, okay, we can take them, picture them, and show them because A, they are public figures. We can use them for analyze their positions and what have you because they are public figures. That's why we can do that. That's acceptable. So I hope say we get that clear. So Dr. BLYDEN was on the offensive. Almost, it wasn't even almost. These were threatening remarks. They are clear for all to see. You may disagree with me, and I make in a few minutes' time, we go open the phone line so you go opine. She threatened the first lady. I tell them all kind word. I go come for you. No open that you motianda. If you say this, look at you. Look where you dance. Again, I make a mention 110 because in terms of the public's part, I believe say that was the height. they dance and they gyrate you waist like something else. And no one repeat some of them words then they, but it's public property, it's publicly known. The publications are out there. The writings of the doctor herself is out there. So not to me they make this up. None of it are making up. What you would look at is how consequential this is, especially in this critical time. And I've been a try for tell you now why I think say the doctor and the first lady then reconcile then or the reconciliation. It's not like a dip in the frying pan, something will happen just in the moment. No, it's been ongoing, and this is the reason why. All the writings where the doctor been to do, all the tips that where the doctor been to do, there were signs of desperation in the doctor's voice, in the doctor's analysis, in imposition, imposits. There were desperation. Yeah. Again, you may disagree, but it is there. We can play some of the tapes and you hear it and waiting Ibn say. Remember when Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN go on for say, Marabio get for intervene between he and in erstwhile boss, the former president, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma. Do we all remember that? For those of us who are watching, I sure say, if not all of us, but most of we remember that very well. She was on public tape calling on the president of the republic, retired Brigadier His Excellency Julius Marabio, for intervene between him boss, and it was also threatening that if he not take charge, if he not interfere, if he not intervene, in Dr. Sylvia know exactly what he go do, and he very good at that, and he know how for do am. She said it. This is public, so I'm not making this up. The reason again back why I decide this is for sure say at that time the doctor must have been in a desperate position for make them kind calling and they, because after all this plaba na be inside house plaba, although it may not the public domain, but what I mean by inside house. Accordingly, she's a member of the All People's Congress and a senior member for that matter. Dues paid up to now. She's made that clear, not making any of this up. On top of that, the man where he talk to so now man where he work for, now man where he lavish praises on. He lavish praises on. Again, that is public. We can play some of the tapes lavishing praises on her. I mean on him. Now, if you move or do a 360, or before the 360, you do a 180 on this particular position, in which you come up from friendly to being unfriendly, and not only unfriendly, but extremely unfriendly to a point that you're calling names, something serious must have happened. This is what we don't know. We all can speculate and guess now social media, waiting exactly happened for the doctor fall out of grace or favor, if you like, from the ex-president to a point where it began for cartoon and force with horns, way different than we culture. But that was just the beginning. And I think it tried to offer an explanation as to why she did that then. But that was the subtle part. But more was to come. And the reason again why we side say the doctor became desperate is because she upped the ante. And when you up the ante, you can understand and see the urgency in her voice. You hear the urgency in her voice. And even in her writings, you could see the urgency in there and the desperation. Yes, we're saying this because the record is out there. And Fambulem, the phone lines, we they open them now. We don't get a background because I don't develop the background of the story, which is Fatima, the first lady of the country, reconciled with Dr. Sylvia Olayinka BLYDEN, two huge public figures. And today, they are friends, as soon as I can see the photo behind me. But like when I see the title, is it an unholy alliance? And if it is, how long will this alliance last? I call them an alliance because part of the background we have been developed, when I hear me clearly say that the timeline is something where we supposed to pay attention to. The story in itself is unique. If Dr. Sylvia Olayinka BLYDEN, an APC person, APC member, they flat at this critical time, and this is just opinion, mind you, but at this critical time, when I put my critical hats on, at this critical time, and looking at the story from Usai Ikomot to making peace, whether or not the first lady approached him, but the time was so right that when it disengaged with him party, disengaged in a sense, the vitriol towards the leadership of empathy as at this time. The cases them way they don't put in a court. All of them righteous in the name of reform, but there is also another reason behind it, which is a selfish one. Of course, that is just a fact. Again, you may disagree, but the doctor has got ambitions of her own. We make we they say that all the things them or most of the things them way the table now in her behalf, and many others go enjoy the benefit subsequently, but in the name of reform. So today we want to look at this olive branch exchange between Dr. Sylvia Olayinka BLYDEN and First Lady Fatima Bio. So the lines are open. The number is there. It's 077 4010 7250. I make an okay like for put the phone on and I can miss all those calls. And I can miss all those calls because when you put her on the level of messages, the way they come inside this phone is unbelievable. So yes, like Family, like I say, the lines are open. It's 077 4010 7250. If you're calling from abroad, don't forget, I'm in the UK. The country code is 44. Don't forget for add the 44 day, omit the zero. As you can see, I'm in a bracket and call the rest of the numbers. So it is there. So Family, again today, I want to remind Family that we did talk about the romance, the peace that has been made between Dr. Sylvia Olayinka BLYDEN and First Lady, Madam Fatima Bio. We know the story. I don't create the background that the feud between these two, it been so toxic, it been so serious that they're not able for handle them inside house, or inside house become so full up with the vitriol where they throw at each other that it been get for spill out to the public where people like we be able to get a gist of waiting to happen on the inside. So again, the story goes back, the setting in Banjul, the Gambia, outside the First Lady get roots. And Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN, at some point in during that period, that's over 10 years ago, was operating in the Gambia. She was operating there. She was a businesswoman. She's a politician, come many other things, a journalist, and etc., etc. And she was well to do, and she had contacts. She had contacts to the most powerful places, including the president of the Gambia then, retired Colonel Yaya AJJ Jammeh. She had all those kind of contacts. And during that period, she and Fatima had a romance, okay? But the relationship was lopsided as Fatima was was um, was struggling then. She was struggling by then and was not up to the level of Dr. Sylvia Olayinka BLYDEN. But at some point, as fate could have it, this lady who was at the other end of this relationship or at the bottom end of this relationship became the first lady of a country of 7.5 million people. A very envious position. A very, very envious position, if I may make the emphasis again. Okay. And some people fail to recognize that she had become the first lady of the country. That having become the first lady of the country, she deserved all the respect that should be given to the office. We know that there are contradictions from this first lady. We know that there are issues around the first lady in conducting herself within the realm of that office as deserved or as required by the office. But in terms or for the purpose of this broadcast, it may deserve all respect. And that respect they was not given to her for the reasons why we don't understand, but we know say two parties then can fall out. And now the public domain, it became an issue of trading. Hat at word them between and them. And I'd say again at some point, Dr. BLYDEN was very threatening in the things that way being direct towards the former first lady, because it's apparent that she knew a couple of secrets that were in the closet of this former first lady. But she's now a former first lady. And she went on attacking because she was on the offense. Fatima was on the defense. The only thing we even get to in your advantage is she is the first lady of the country and he wield enough power and influence as at this time. Dr. BLYDEN lied at the opposition side, and the opposition was being battered left, right, and center. But during this process, Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN, we have issues of our own, politically and socially, fell out with her own party publicly. Publicly. And if she's not accepted in her own party, especially within the hierarchy, the establishment, the people the way they make decisions, she fell out with them. And it's public again. It's not new. So you see why we look at the timing of this friendship. So Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN, if you don't study them, will need the spotlight once more on a different level, on a higher level. She needed this spotlight on a different level, higher level. And if it can be vindictive, she will try to send a message and would like to hurt a few. So hence, there is a potential or possibility of this reunion between the doctor and the first lady. Okay, and that message is being sent. And it not only stopped there with waiting at the say, because she followed up the messages with series of other messages attacking left, right, and center, making the point to the others because she know that this is making the rounds, is making the news, that people and they read them, and if then they read them, then they follow up with it. They say, of course, she's got a huge followership, huge. She's got huge followership. Again, people and way sort of controversial, they do normally have a huge followership. If you decide for be controversial, so people and the follow waiting the right. So what I just say, it will appear for make a lot of sense in the sense that what you say, two strong women, and I agree with that. I agree largely with that because I believe in peacemaking. I mean, we can fall out, but we can't continue for tear ourselves, yeah, into shreds. Where in the end, nothing is left, and probably we are both losers. And in this case, we get a huge followership and the nation involved, and people do not even realize this as yet that there is a political angle to this reunion. And like I say, the doctor wanted to claim the high horse all over again because she's tried many a times. We decide who say actually belong, don't write on right, don't go to the court, and what have you. Some of the verdicts that were rendered with was in her favor. She made it known that she was disappointed with the other verdicts which never came in her favor. That's how ambitious the doctor is. So that everything that she tabled to the court was supposed to be a yes, yes, yes. The court, in its wisdom, decided this one you get correct, this one you get incorrect, and we give this, but the other one they know we not agree. And imagine you are positing these things as against other people who also get interest in what you talk about. So you don't expect to win all, and in a negotiating table, when you can't sit on a negotiating table, now because you didn't negotiate or they in talk with other people, and we also get interest. Now on that table there, how una they conduct their interest there and waiting you can with una the stronger part. Now so you go get for left with something, but not more than the person we get the bigger chunk of the advantage. So it's therefore be a win-win situation. And a win-win situation not mean like a 50-50 situation, especially in the formation of alliances, coalitions, and etc. Who are you or which you represent at the coalition, not the alliance? That's how you come there. Because without you, others can do. But with you, it's a plus for the other. So if you understand that and you got replacements, it might be hard, but there are replacements. But here is the case. So the doctor they make peace between them after all their attacks talk then they, which in itself is a good thing. And the question what they asked today, waiting they behind this peace. Is it just, remember I said the friendship not ordinary. Remember I said the two people them in question are not ordinary people. Look at the timeline. For over 10 years, according to Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN, she and the First Lady have not had, they've not spoken to each other. Malice for over 10 years. So imagine after all that public spat, what she had said, what the First Lady say, okay? And they end up for makeup and maybe they say, it not just happen out of the blues. So while say me, they make them tape them and they write, negotiation was ongoing. So what's this program? What's this program? And it reached the height, in my opinion, when Dr. BLYDEN called for the President of the Republic, His Excellency retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, for intervene in a feud between he and his former boss, the former president, Ernest Bai Koroma. Imagine that. I mean, Unala will try for process this and see what in potentially mean, and looking at the timeline as well, all waiting the Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN be on the do what him be on the right. that now they ask the current president for arbitrate between he and him former boss. A boss where he fell out with. A boss where he lavished praises on during the time where he been work for him. And then suddenly she became so spiteful. And one has to think, waiting caused this spitefulness. Waiting. Okay? So family, like I say, the phone lines are open. If you look at the screen, you definitely foresee the number there. I wish I could get a few calls on this. I think I don't opine on it a lot. There's more that can be said. I hope for a 1 hour program, and we deep into the 1 hour. So let me take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we will continue with Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN and Fatima BO, the peacemaking, and take them from there. Ladies and gentlemen, first commercial.
Shock you.
Wow, I like the setup and decor. Quite impressive.
You've not seen anything yet. Wait until you taste the food.
I can't wait.
Innocence, money make you
Look at that.
Oh,
I am sharper than knife, I am sharper than nail. Them are small like ant, I am bigger than whale. My Baba God don't lift you up. Nobody will make you drop. Nobody will
in Brixton, we do more of African food and seafood as well. In Peckham, we do more of African food.
Party, a reception, or function of any type, this is the place to do it. Just do your booking on time, and we can book catering for you.
Right. So that was we commercial break, and we need for move on. Right, Fambulem. So this is now the TNN TV media empire. And today, the 18th of February, we are coming to you live from the United Kingdom. And me, where they talk to Una this evening from his side, I am Prince Emil Kroma, and I bring warm greetings from the empire. Today, we talk about the romance, the peacemaking, the exchange of olive branches between Dr. Sylvia Olainka BLYDEN and First Lady Madam Fatima Bio after a long, secluded, non-speaking tenure between the two. One big sister, one small sister, of course, now so they refer to themselves. But at one time, as at now, things just flip. At one time, it was Sylvia BLYDEN who was on top of things. And at this time, it is Fatima Bio, who is the first lady, who is now on top of things. Things fell out. Things became so bad that they upped the ante. Sylvia was very, very public about all of this. And in the end, the first lady decided for exercise the powers within in reach. She must have prodded her husband or could have done it herself. But of course, the husband was watching all of this as it were happening. And you get for imagine this, you get your wife and your wife is being thrashed publicly. And you, not the head of state. I'm not saying the way how they went about it was right, because they could have gone through the law and try for sure say, we are very powerful people and we can silence you. Because they could have brought some civil suit, I believe, against Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN. Don't know whether it worked, but it could have worked that way. You know, these are very powerful people. And just bring a kind of court and let the court system play out on the disrespect that was being showed or showered on the First Lady of the Republic. That was totally uncalled for in my view. When I get on a public spot, but you they go and challenge the First Lady, they cuss them up publicly. I am so happy that una make them up. But the First Lady being here for exercising power, where it bring a truckload of police people. And how we know again, Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN is a very public figure and loved the limelight. She loved the limelight. And he sent out a public tweet quickly that this is what's happening at our residence because he battered himself in the first place and be able to send all the text and they out. So most of we got a gist of the story and we self-use with social media, handle them for tell the rest of the world, the one day where they listen to it, that this is happening now. This is breaking news at Dr. BLYDEN residence. Was and few bad things happened inside our jail to Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN. We were not there, but she came out, she explained to us. The authorities haven't denied that. So I think we'll get a first caller. We get a few calls, so I missed them again. Goodness. So let's just give them the call back and see what happens. This is not a call from Australia, I believe. So Australia, my apologies. This is not the problem with this new phone what they use. I sort of miss calls. Now 3 calls now miss and I believe say they want for participate. Let me call the other one, see. Yeah. Let me call the other one. Okay. So yes, so Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN was she was molested, she was jailed, and all the viciousness of the first lady. Now that point day, na day is show am out really that she was so upset with all what him happen, and when time come for let it demonstrate the power way it gets or the access to power, she did it with style. She did it with style. It sent one old truck of police, press people and capture them in one of you for go arrest one single woman. But this one single woman, very powerful as well, don't they challenge them, don't they cause them. So now so it play out. But the fast forwarding of all of this is that was then. So we want focus on the now. Why is it at this strategic time after Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN on try left, right, and center? And I'm not saying that she's giving up. About in your party, waiting happen in your party or waiting to happen there, and in chances and etc. And today, nothing else has been, much has been achieved. Not much has been achieved. What exactly is ongoing? What's the level of desperation for let you call somebody when are you enemy? Now, you make on the flyer, una see whether the enemy of my enemy, the maxim, whether it does hold true. And in this case, it look like it hold true. Whether the enemy of me enemy, na me paddy. So now so it look like. You don't try under, you don't try under. And these are very powerful people on the other side of the APC. The people where Dr. BLYDEN they try for attack. Then powerful, then get money. Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN get money. He get penmanship as a journalist, stroke politician, stroke contact, stroke access. But that access they be limited. So is it possible that a possible romance with the first lady will happen for be, in all due respect, an enemy to the opposition party, will now be a friend of Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN, who belongs to the opposition party, but is being marginalized by the people where they head the All People's Congress. They don't even listen to her. I mean, they don't even acknowledge her, at least not publicly. This is something that we know for sure. She's not been publicly acknowledged, not publicly acknowledged. So that would have gotten to anybody. You know, one thing where you can do for ignore somebody, that is really serious when you ignore people. It becomes really, really serious to a point where it can lead to some point of desperation. And now forming this unholy alliance is with First Lady. You can see the political connection, the other platform where they can get Sylvia to a point where people are asking, is she going to affect just like the likes of Alpha Khan? Is she going to be the next? There are rumors traversing, the length and breadth of social media in which people and believe say Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN is on the verge of somersaulting. I use the word deliberately because it's not turnover and a 360 turnover to the ruling party for help show up the defenses against the All People's Congress. And because of his ambitions as well, and in public's part with another strong lady figure, Ivona Kisoya, Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN potentially, if she does move over to the SLPP, she's got the credentials, she's got all the wherewithal, all of it to become the mayor of Freetown or to be a serious contender for the position of mayor of Freetown. Do you follow Fambulem? Una follow? Because just the other day, somebody, it's like as if the story of Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN in Romance with First Lady na it doesn't worth attention, at least in the political scheme of things. I disagree, because this is heavily political. There is a message here that needs to be deciphered, and this is what we are trying to do. So with this rumor, there's a possibility. And I'm not saying that this is what it is, but there's a possibility. And you also get to look at things from the position of the public spat between the current government and the APC mayor of Freetown. This public spat has been ongoing since the beginning of this government and the mayor. There's been this public spat. If you remember about cleaning business, that every Saturday, they do, I think the last Saturday in a month, we're not being constitutional in a way, because the rights of the people were being abused then, in which the current president, Ebin Filse, this is not a regime, a junta, a military junta. And it wasn't. This is not constitutional democracy, and the people enjoy their rights. So you can't just grab and say every Saturday, nobody not supposed to move until 12 o'clock. No, it doesn't happen in a democracy. But that we will leave that lecture day for another day. But on this particular day, what particularly matter is we see the mayor where it come under huge attack during the Saturday cleaning the air, where he try for exercising right as the elected mayor of the municipality of Freetown, where people are up to this day, they're not able for phantom data yet. Where me self it bothers me a lot that people where you expect for no better, they sort of have a problem with this. I mean, the mayor, she is the landlady for Freetown. She is the landlady. This is not the easiest way for her to put her. Now, in the host or the house, the presidency, and this now the conundrum and the irony of this bittersweet relationship, especially when it involves the presidency is held by one party and the mayoralty. Every time I get tongue-tied where I try for pronounce as such. Anyway, the mayor is hosted or handled or in a different party. So there's always this friction. Had it been the other way around, where even at the SLPP get the mayorship, and then the APC get the presidency state house, that friction will still have been there. It still will have been there. The only thing we will put that friction there aside is the respect for law and order, the rules, the laid down rules. So you see, people and they try for undermine the mayor, and this is just a fact, undermine the mayor in many respects. We've seen tapes in which a deputy, an unelected deputy, my goodness, get the audacity, the gall, and the bladder for go team up before the mayor in the office in public, full rolling of the cameras. They speak to the mayor, in that disparaging way. Yeah? Disrespectful way. That's gross insubordination, and it amount to sacking. But then you have people we see that kind of gross insubordination, we not go ever dare talk to their boss as such. Much more an elected person. It can sack him, but then we go ask the question, why, first of all, that person, they get the audacity and the goals for do that? Is it because they get backing from somewhere else? Is it because they get backing from the top? Potentially so. Because your job now, one thing where you get for protect, and if you understand the ramifications of your activity or what you they do, then sure enough, you will not be doing that because it's sackable. So whether you get something that's been thrown at you where you find like not justifiable, there is a channel. And then channel and I we need for respect, but we not seem for the respect them. We not seem for the respect them. I guess for keep an eye on this phone. There's definitely some things happening. Let me see. Okay. So we missed 2 calls, one from Australia. I don't know this other which is strange. Anyway, let me just focus on the show itself and forget about the calling. Let me focus on the show itself and forget about the calling. So you can see the vitriol thrown at the mayor. So we know say it's a calculated ploy. You can understand why. Because the mayor is the landlady of Freetown. That's how powerful she is. So they have to work out a fine relationship for balance the relationship between the municipality and the state house. They really need for find a way, on how to get along. But from day one, we see waiting exactly happen. And since then, time and time again, this mayor has been undermined. And I'm telling you, all of this is just fact. None of this is being made up. It's just fact. It's just laid down. Now, Ime could come with a program, and we'll not forget for join the platform on Sunday, a program where we call debunking the propagandists. What we do, we they opine, but provide circumstances and in some cases hard evidence. Give you citations and references, at least some side you can go, not to just talk. Not just talk. And exactly like I do here. So I create the narrative, look at the story, and most of it is public anyway. But they try for thought provoke the minds of Sierra Leoneans, then for be critical in their thoughts by thinking about the timeline of this romance. It is good to make up. Let's get that. We can't continue, as I say earlier on, for tear ourselves up to shred. We potentially now the enemy of the enemies of them two people they are go only benefit because they fed so much, then shred themselves so much. Imagine APC people go glad if Fatima be okay, tear down, Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN. Of course they will be happy. Even if not all of them, but a smaller percentage of them will be happy. And when the public spat been going between them, of course, there were people who were loving this. Even people within the SLPP will love when Sylvia BLYDEN. I mean, they do then remark then they to the first lady. There were people who were spurring her on, milking it, egging her on. There were people who were doing that because why not like the first lady? What this implies is there is enmity for these two people, even outside the own realm and inside the own realm. So people were loving this. So while some people are happy with this romance, at least, these two people, we're going to hear something positive from them. Other people, they're upset because even newspapers, news organs, social media, because that kind of stuff we've been going between them was huge. Even they give more likes, more clickbaits, and etc. But now they not make peace, they therefore come up from different angle, especially on a concerted one. So instead of two, they come up from two different sides. Now one. So for some people it's a disadvantage, for others it's an advantage, especially the one that we want peace. So people they egg the two people on. But now that they not make peace, we look at the critical timeline, why they make peace as at this time. Why Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN may continue for the insult or heap insults on a former boss, a boss where he lavish praises on. Okay? Where the fallouts take place. And they don't do XYZ, they shine the light on some of the illegalities within the All People's Congress. And don't they call for reform and side with the reformists, which is also another good thing. But she does harbor, and there's nothing wrong with that, pardon me, interest. She does harbor interest, very strong interest. So now towards that goal day, she's working and stepping along the way on toes, to them, and don't care because she's laser focused on her interest. But within the party, USA is seen for belong. That interest they reverse the potential, the possibility of realizing an interest and an objective, been there on the reverse, like backsliding. She wasn't making progress on that because she's met an iron fence every step along the way. She did make some gains. She did landed some jabs and some blows. But potentially, the doctor herself know what she would have expected, the killer blow. It never happened. It never really happened. So I think she must have done her calculation. And again, this romance will have been a calculation on her part because remember, despite descending to where she is now, she's still a very clever woman. And most people that kind of associate themselves with her, that way lekam, and way realistic and pragmatic enough and able for speak truth to power. Then people that will not wait and say jump, then you say how high. The people that way you say jump, they say for waiting. Then get the guts and the goals for ask them or tell them, say, oh, decide who side you go. So no. So she's become reactive to almost everything on social media. And you don't have that kind of resources and space because you can't go against everyone. No, you can't. I just imagine the art of war. Because if you're strategic, when you defect, you go conserve your energy. Animals do it. And how about we, the highest reasoning animal, the mortal man? But you want fight every nook and cranny, every Jack and Harry, every Jack and Jill you want to fight. Where is that energy? Where is that resource? Where is that logistic? So for be strategic, like the art of war, Sun Tzu, you get for conserve your energy. You get for pick your fight. You get for understand when you they unleash and when you they hold back, when for throw your card and when for keep. But no, not with the doctor, the learned doctor. We they see out there how she's become reactive. Up to a point where somebody say Lico, when somebody say Jankoliko, you sort of say respond to the same thing. We get first caller on the line. First caller, of course, I know this caller is no stranger to the platform. Is very much a fabric and structural part of this platform. But for the benefit of the general public, if you can quickly state your name and who you they call from, and the floor is all yours, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Prince Emil Kuma. Mr. Supermed again, they call from the UK. I want to tell you plenty thank you because for bring kind program here, now the platform is not easy because plenty people can say we something they will happen not for the talk but it's very important that we talk about because the lady in question, Dr. Sylvia Olainka BLYDEN, now somebody with all high position then now we consider. He don't become a minister. I don't. They have plenty in them. But the way where they conduct himself lately, it is really unfortunate. And actually, really, it was not there for describe him. It bring up the title even way all to disrepute. Because when they see this particular lady, they go on social media, they use all kind of invectives against personalities. They threaten the former president, including the current president as well. So it is really unfortunate and sad that this lady don't go so desperate. So I mean, we don't really know what's in the go on with them personally. Maybe she has some sort of personal problems or some sort of thing where they eat her inside. But the way this lady they conduct herself, it is really a shame. And again, it's not only doing that in Sierra Leone, it went as far as Liberia. For Kego disrespect to the former president of Liberia as well, when a very outstanding figure, when as somebody where in terms of a rapprochement. Now, lady this way, really, as a track record, the show, she can mutate at any moment. You said the way they would turn against you back. The way you mentioned when a lady this, where they give praise relentlessly to the former president.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about 362 now, the former president and the most worst person. So again, like, even when they talk.
Okay.
You know, it's really sad. But again, let me just stop there.
So let me ask you this. Thank you for your contribution. But before I let you go, let me just ask you this. I be also want to look at the timeline because you mentioned something, but you talk about the dangers of the relationship. But I be want to look at, the timing of the relationship as at this time. Does it have any political overt or undertone? Because you get for look at waiting to happen. You're rolling close to election. Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN has tried making her way into the depth of the party for position himself, for possible position in the future when elections shall come. She's done a lot of stuff, but that did not seem to be working because up to a point where a call for the president, the current sitting president, for intervene between he and Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma. Other than that, which was a threat, and I shall say you did follow that. But the question, Supermed, or the opinion what they expect you for opine on is: do you see a political undertone in this reunion between Dr. BLYDEN and First Lady Fatima?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because, like you say, First Lady, Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN gets a track record where he use blackmail and all sorts of things for getting into the political arena. And again, as you talk, so today I saw another video where he pulled, where he traveled all the way to Pujong for go witness a funeral by the Minister of Information, Mr. Radu Swari.
Wow.
You know, and they take what they call. So maybe it is also using the carrot and stick approach for blackmail the SLPP, at the same time encourage the SLPP. Probably is thinking at this crucial moment, maybe the SLPP as they don't show when they don't take Alpha Can, maybe it will be the next possible SLPP go and say, okay, well, this we need for bring and come on board. And again, I think people should be very wary of short character. Because short person with only right up them, now person will not get principle. Now person will not get when they do things in terms of ideology. If they do things in an opportunity seeker. So if they use the opportunity, the fact that in a journalist or somebody where they write, for use that as a weapon for blackmail people so that whatever regime they are in power, it will be able to get access to power. And again, these sort of characters, it is really unfortunate and sad because again, you as a person, we don't go to what same position and the way they say you're a serious person in society, for like they use the same trademark all the time, you know, they show a sort of pattern where really disturbing, to be honest. And I wish the lady in question herself, the doctor herself, one day go get the backbone for Canada this platform. For now, we ask an critical question here about what to make, because there has to be some sort of a reason to your own reasoning. Why they tear the apple? We want to know why. Why as all the way the president self talking about himself and the third person.
Okay.
But when you look behind all that, there is no substance. It's all just about seeking opportunities.
Okay.
For get access to power. Probably because of maybe the opportunities that power present to her, in order to be a 1 or 2 years without having that power. And again, this is just my own observation. She will be the best. She not anybody the best person or best place for Canada platform. Let us explain and respond to them question why.
Yeah, very much thanks to you, Supermed, for the opinion and thank you so much. And Fambulem, you know, just for making clear, Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN is willing to come on the platform. I must make this clear. She's willing. I think just 2 months ago, she was meant to be on the platform. It was arranged, flyers were put out, and there was supposed to be a 3-part series. 1 or 2 of them was meant to be a sit-down conversation in which will have been recorded. Okay, we have another caller. Let's take this call. Hello, caller.
Yes, Mr. Kuma. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. And you need to speak up a little bit louder. We did not connect to the normal thing. But if you can just say your name quickly and where you're calling from, and the floor is all yours, sir.
This is Fudi Mustafa from England.
Which Mustafa, sir?
Fudi Mustafa.
Fudi Mustafa. Yeah, Mr. Mustafa, you go get for speak up a little. Okay. Let's put the phone up here so we're able to pick up your sound. Yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
This lady, who I don't follow for a very long time.
Okay.
But people, like what I always say, Salon they forget quick. This lady, and Escoroma take this woman on board because of the blackmailer. I don't know if people remember this in newspaper Awareness Times. The publication, the way we make against Anes Kurma, the Anes Kurma will be president for publicize them with women and girls every time around, up to the point Anes Kurma do one they want to do this. If like we like something like Anes Kurma say, you know what, bring them like and let's be my left me. This is how this lady gets into people's skin.
Okay.
So if you look at the same trend 90 do now, if one gets something, but how did he get this tea so? So now I make it, instead of, you come out place that is one, it blackmail people, and if you believe in that, and you get one thing now, people they forget about any threat we Sylvia go into, now you forget the last say.
Right.
If you don't get the last say, you know, stop. So that the same thing you don't do, the fight with this, the fight with that. Me, normally, this kind of person, they're not going to take say, a serious person. Why? Because if somebody come out plainly say, I get issues with this person, for instance, the mayor, waiting on act this person will talk again when they will listen to them. The person don't talk and clearly say they get issues with this person. And unfortunately, the politics in the country, because everybody wants to go political goal, they still go behind the mayor, where the person, where they can't make allegations, and of course, they talk about personal issues. It's not a national issue. This is a personal issue. So this lady, we fashion something. She has to have the last.
So, Mr. Mustafa, thank you for that. I'll just ask one or two questions quickly. You they watch the program simultaneously. If you can bring your audio down on the program where you watch, because I make your voice very low and people need for capture what you say because it's quite important. What do you think about this romance or this friendship now between?
No, because the lady, say now, outside English day, get space again.
Right.
Because he look for somewhere to go. Now, person we want to get relevance at all times. So which time we say he did, for sure, if the whole meeting self 9 hosts, 9 street or 9 hosts, 9 party, 9 whole meeting, they go there again. So it's quite clear, say, he not get space again, which I say he did. You cannot be a presidential candidate or somebody way like every day you put you now more of against the people the way they with than the people the way you not fight against. I mean the governing party. So you not get space again. So she's looking for an opening into. Remember, few months ago, he don't talk about one audio where he talks and he talk about national unity government. If they can, this president is not this tool. So like say they look for an olive branch for hang, This thing is it's a personal issue. This man want to get relevant all the time. Say which if they say it day, he not get no space there anymore. So now he make it go this other way. But if forget one thing, the current president, they're not the compromise. Anybody with this man not fight with, let me give you an example. One of the best characters in the SLP government, in the SLP party, how they call this, John Benjamin.
Yeah, with the sir.
If this man, not able to forgive Benjamin because he fought against him for the presidential ticket, now Sylvia go actually open doors for, it's not going to be possible.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Mustafa, and I believe that a first-time caller, and we really appreciate that. And you make quite a lot of sense out there in terms of articulating, because that's what they try for provoke, so people can come and use their critical thinking and see how they see things. But it makes a lot of sense looking at the trend, the history, and that you do so. So I want to say thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah, bye-bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome Imran. Imran, you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, sir.
Okay. Unfortunately, you video not clear like it can usually be where all man they see you, yeah, where you can get you feel on. But the program almost they come to an end. Now you they make a kind extend them for another 10 minutes. I will extend them for another 10 minutes. So you understand the subject matter, which is about the reunion of Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN and the First Lady Fatima Bio. This reunion where they make. We try for look at waiting happen. It's good for make friendship, and I sure say you will agree with that. Even we'll make palaver, but at some point we suppose for makeup. But at this critical time and looking at the two characters, them you definitely do have an opinion because a highly opinionated man, waking opine, but the opinion almost all of the time makes a lot of sense. So Imran, let me hear your view about this entire episode where they unfold right between the eyes. Between these two people, if you will, please.
Dear brother, family, good evening. The way we look at this union here is just like within we own good people and can say, because say we African and we always full of adage and we adages they make sense. Then say na trouble make monkey eat pepper. And then say na rain. Na he make goats and sheep meet na veranda. But we rain cuts then go scatter. My brother, you know, say sometimes desperation, we person the drown na water. It make, even if they give you sharp knife, you the olam just for stay alive. So basically, Sylvia BLYDEN know for say he don't lost a lot of popularity because the unholy war where he decided for faith in the names in the form of reform, everybody know for saying a vendetta and it don't look backfire upon him. So she's really desperate for make alliances. And it don't come now. They try for make or forge one of the most unholy alliance. And we know say, my brother, Puss and Arata, they know they keep company. If you see them they together, something they wouldn't they talk about. And not to, for anyone in favor. Now because one or once you want to get dominance over a company. But at the end of the day, very soon, things will get really more care. And we will see a lot of unholy alliances they happen. Because Alpha Kando nak Jamawas and Tina Apprentice, it's not surprising. They don't throw transfer. And we be made for understand, say the two people in the item, Sylvia, they go out with Khan. So maybe they also don't rekindle the relationship. So that don't help for make it glue in Fatima so that also go benefit from this new, because you know say Alpha Khan say they play number 11. So now we don't draft in the number 10 where you know say go the set the ball for him for let it score. But this go end up it go end up in tears.
This is interesting, Imran. You see, social media pundit like you bring a different elevation, you know, here to the conversation, and that's why it's good to have you on, because with all what you say just now, most of it has been said, but you bring another edge or something new to them, the connection between one person we don't already defect and you call them Jamawas.
We
But
don't
we look
knock
at
Jamawas,
Babbage, they don't knock Jamawas, you know. And a person will be a strong connection with Dr. BLYDEN, so probably I know on the thread or
They
the
were
cable.
lovers. They were lovers. Not a strong, it's more than strong connection. It is more than politics. They are also the Roban.
Okay, this is new. This is new to me. Imran, so let me try for understand the timeline, and I want your opinion on this as well. You know, like you say, the doctor don't try many things. He don't write, he don't do this, he don't do that. But none of it seem for work. He don't go to court. The court give some ruling, but he want all, and he express frustration at that. But you did on a negotiating table with others. Now you number one take all. I mean, what about the others that you did in negotiation with? Is nothing going to be left there for them? It's not telling it itself. You know, man, we understand psychology.
Well, you left something behind.
Yeah.
Where most of the moves we don't fill up, it's guy for make an inroad for past Bush Road for go Kailang. And they locked up and they he knocked them out, they not really enter. So he come back na Freetown. You remember one day where he come out stock for say where Puss no the Arata take charge. Sylvia the Puss don't come back. He go can show them Pepe. And I'm really disappointed the way APC they do things. You know, because when they became a court, Sylvia was not able to make inroads. After where he can make more say in the Puss way, they make the Arata then team. So he lost. But then say because now we posse na comrade make enough pay for the court, you know, charges and then kind of day. I thought that was a mistake from APC. She should have been taught a lesson, make it pay every penny, but then say they left him, which I think is a very terrible mistake on their part, because the law gets the rules. People then get for land, they get for set precedences. Make the land say if somebody carry person going to court, there are consequences. If you carry person going to court, they not find the person wanting. Then you will carry the person going to court, now you get for pay the court fees, both for you and the person. the person go
So
bring
Ima,
money.
now bought in there, you make again another critical point. But if we can just narrow and down quick, because there's so
Yes.
many stories about Dr. Sylvia that we can do probably like a whole year on the doctor. Remember, I get over 55 tips day. Wait for analyzer is going to take decades. But
Yes.
again, I wonder we just kind of laser focus on this newfound relationship between Sylvia and Fatima. And what it mean? Is it consequential for we political landscape? Election just then at the horizon. Dr. BLYDEN don't try many, many things them. Not seem for work na the party we belong to because the people the way they call the shot. I mean, she's heaped insults on them to a point where it seems like a point of no return. I might be wrong on this, but what's your view?
The woman don't lost credibility. He don't lost all credibility. And the party where he did, where he supposed for day, they forget say it is not just the leadership where it affects to get problem. It don't create animosity between himself and the grassroots, because the grassroots then don't see him like for say she is part of the obstacle where APC they go through. Because you know what in a party, political party, now people of like minds they come together. When I get forget a common ideology, common values, common principles. If you know say you values them, don't entirely change. They are not in par with the political party where you did, then you know for say you cannot work with them any longer. You go get for left, for you your own respect, for you your own peace. But you say you get for force change. And force na negotiate, you they negotiate them. You know they force change. Change, even when you do, you read management. Now, one of the most difficult things to implement. People naturally, we don't like change. And you you are not the majority. You go join other people them, and you and the people them when you go join, will not reach up to 2% of the entire population of the party. Then una say, una go force everybody. And one of the biggest mistakes what they make, they know they do reforms na courtroom. Then they do reforms na boardroom, not courtroom. Then they do them through negotiation. Then they do them through by engaging. Una get for engage with each other. Una get for liaise with each other. Una get for consult with each other. Come to a consensual agreement. But Sylvia and the other reformer, the young tactics, they get for bend your hand and cuff you, force you for submit to what they want. And you don't go work that way. The dynamic now, it don't reach a point where you're not able for achieve what he wants, because what he be set up for himself was not achievable. So now he don't turn to a guerrilla fighter. And you know for say now, where you get that kind of fights there, the enemy of your enemy, now your friend. So now that union there, you don't make with Fatima now. Because you know where person they drown, I let you get a nephew, the whole. So now make it don't hold that situation, the tranga one. And at this now they go on. And me now want me no puss and dog, no the be party. Very soon one go bet the company, or one go catch the other. You see, so now
Okay, Iman. Many thanks, brother. I love. Okay. So going forward, Iman, in this unholy alliance, some kind of strategic interest day we supposed for play up to either one person or both, and both people then get ambitions. If you follow me train of thought, sir, both people then get ambitions. Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN is not stupid. He formed this alliance or he make this peace because, of course, he get Dombolo na the other side, and he need the other side as some kind of an asset. But just like you say, and the reason why they outline this analogy now, because of which you say, puss and dog, I mean, puss and arata, not to paddy or puss and dog, one must catch the other. So they see this particular time as critical. Now, I make a try for alignment to a political landscape, but both get a respective objective. And that make, if we go by what you say, at some point it get for scatter, because this not just make up for let either person take advantage of a situation. How you see them, Iman?
My brother, oil and water not the mix. Then two people there, they're highly egocentric. Now people that were both rigid, they're both very rigid. And I hear you talk or say Sylvia BLYDEN smart. Please don't underestimate Fatima. Remember, Bible never went to school, but he's smarter past with brother than we go school. Because Bible stood up for values, for principles. And even where the Governor Kadwe decide for burn the farmland, them, the pastures, burn them villages, Bible submit just because of matter of principle. This Nama will not go school. Don't underestimate Fatima because you not get DR before your name. She is highly manipulative. So then two people there, my brother. This is not tug of war. And outside they do the tug of war, oil laid a ground. Can't see for them. Then why I go for a ground, then none go left that group there. So then therefore end up very untidily. And it can increase the mistakes. Because if you notice SLPP desperate, you know, see recently they arrest Yaya Tunis. That was good for APC. Then desperation go make them they make more and more mistakes. And the more mistakes and what they make, it's good for APC. You see, APC now, the situation is, you find out for say SLPP busy, they make propagandas upon propagandas. Because they get something where they cook. Mind you, SLPP always and not just they come out do something and they test water. If you notice now, all them propagandists them, then they can't come out say and Eskoroma and Yansane don't go to train people in the beginning. Then they talk this talk here and a very dangerous talk. And very soon.
Yeah, hello. Sorry, man. Hang on. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, you need for turn the volume down on the program where you watch right now live so that we will establish a frequency between me and you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You need for turn the volume down on the program. Oh, okay.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time, please. The remote loss. Yeah. So anyway, we get a caller, but we'll come back to they try for dull the volume by in. So carry on, Iman. Once he come on again, I will.
So
hello.
So you
yeah, okay, so you're back. Okay, Iman, sorry. So caller, I believe saying at the program because I read the background, you listen. So you want you want weigh in on this program. So please identify yourself, who side you call from, and the floor is all yours, please.
Yeah. Good evening. Me na Zainab. I call from England.
Yeah, Zainab, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you. What you want for talk? Me not a politician or anyway. But to mama them na them be don't fet pan this APC so all along. So, but this latter part, wait here they see how this woman here so they behave. They go down well at all. I don't feel say this woman here so normal. It's like say he don't get mental problem. He really get mentally disturbed. Because how on earth you go begin disgrace will former president where they be done day very, very tight. Then they do things indoors, then they do things outdoors. Then all of a sudden, everything now you don't bring a kind of do. Then a day and that today, a day and that tomorrow, a day and that today, a day and that tomorrow. They talk about this Aneskuruma too much. And the worst of all, the provocation is too much. Where you the provoke person, then you the put in picture back. Na the scream. You dey put the picture live na the scream. Then you dey talk about the person. They curse am. They talk all kind word. I don't feel say it good. To an extent where he go Liberia, where he mistake and church that woman, that former president woman na Liberia. See how the Liberians then stand for saying that the mama na the everything.
They're not go grieve for Sylvia. And if he gets mind, let it go to Liberia. He not go come in live one again. How much more now? We will not go fight. We will not go fight. By God in power, we will not go fight. But waiting me, they try for talk. This woman, I don't feel say this woman is so normal. I don't feel say normal. Because the way a man how they behave, they behave maturely. And he don't lose integrity, he don't lose respect, and they even realize all what he do every day. 9-year-old, you're 58 now. All what he talk about now about APC. All what they talk about now about Anescoma. All what they talk about now about Anescoma and West. Not so. Because I not go talk again for the mayor. Where the cost and then there's the also Tiffy, Jankoliko Tiffy. Who does that?
Okay, Zainab,
you
Auntie.
are a doctor. You say you're not a doctor. Who does that?
Yeah, Auntie Zainab.
Call it spade. This thing what this woman is doing not good.
Yeah, Auntie Zainab, just quickly because of time, I just want to ask you one or two questions. You've said it. Of course, the mental issue is your opinion based on the doctor in action them or in attitude publicly. So you're questioning that. But of course, it's not sacrosanct because you not a medical practitioner, I believe, and you not diagnose the doctor in case as yet. So that's understood. Again, you're not first time caller on this platform, I believe, because I'm the first time I hear your voice, which I really appreciate. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you very much. But I want you weigh in on this relationship where they don't make up between the First Lady and Fatima. Now that I want you talk about, if you will, please, waiting how you see them, waiting do in your opinion. Let me hear it in your own words, please.
Well, the thing is, as I rightly said, the woman is just start like normal how possible try for set fire. You understand? It is try for set fire the APC and the SLPP. Because you're not going to try for criticize the former one, then you support the present one. You understand?
Yeah.
This is something fishing. This is something fishing. The way Adebayo the Kosayanda, then it talk say Aneskoma in Popida and they send Aneskoma they send in Popida for Kosam. Big palette that one day. Now something in the because not so yes, the fight for in power, but not also person the fight for power. If they not give power, you try for it just now attention seeker na Sylvia.
Okay.
Now attention seeker.
Okay.
For go make friend with that woman at this time. Yeah, we face reality.
So for make friendship not to the problem, now the timing ain't the problem, right? For you.
Yes.
On that note, I want to say thank you very, very much, Auntie Zain. Now, just because of time, because I know say you get Boku you want to talk.
I know.
Yeah, but please, just because of time, I will have to let you go because we get other people away line up for call as well, and the program almost they come to an end, and we want taking as much calls as we can. But I think you've made some critical points, and we appreciate that, and that has gone down into history. Thank you very much. Yeah,
thank you too. Thank you.
You're welcome, my
God
dear,
bless you. Yeah,
and you
God
too.
bless.
Bye bye. So again, Famulem, this is exactly waiting we did talk about. We own Dr. Sylvia Olayinka BLYDEN and First Lady Fatima Bio. And the co-host with me this evening, although he came in very late, almost towards the end of the program, we'll make we extend the program. And the program is getting interesting anyway. Now, a brother and a friend, Mr. Imran Toure. Like we heard the last caller just now. It is patterns of behavior that people can study, whether not psychiatrists and etc. Patterns of behavior we're not consistent. Okay, are you doing this deliberately, or you're becoming forgetful of things the way they say? And Dr. Sylvia, we not say you're watching the program here tonight, and you read the opinions them na the platform and waiting myself they say. So we last caller say something where it left my head, and that's something I don't think about for a long time. You worked for the former president. You lavished praises on him. huge praises on him. Okay, then you and him fall out. It's not impossible for you and person fall out, but the level where you don't take this fallout to, so much so that a former president, you they cause them to that level. I mean, you go on some of the things I can't repeat, but I just want to say one. Wretched. How do you think the international world is looking at you in a position where you serve that president they ask and tips them that are out of you lavishing praises on this man, and now you call her wretched, and then lately they say threats to democracy. I wonder whether not then or not now. Imran, your thoughts, please.
My brother, let me not forget one thing. You know, I can tell this many a times where I can talk to Mr. Salon people. Kriyoman say, no, look how you for don't look how you walk your foot. Let we look at how this woman come to power. Now blackmail,
hold on 1 minute, caller. Hold on 1 minute, caller. Yeah, Imran, if you can make 30 seconds quick, we get another caller on the line.
That's what she does. It blackmail people then. It blackmail and Eskroma for keep and quiet. And so it get them in the job where it is. And me man, anybody will blackmail you, you can never trust them. Then go wait for another opportunity for blackmail you. That's why she thinks whenever things not go away, it don't make them a habit. It don't become a trend. It don't become habitual enough now.
So if you can hold your thoughts right there, that it don't become habitual, it don't become a trend and XYZ blackmailing. We have a caller on the line. Caller, if you can identify yourself, where you're calling from, the floor is all yours, please.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Prince. I'm a concerned citizen. I had a call from the United Kingdom.
Right.
Just one for make. For Sierra Leone. When you look at the historical etymology of waiting Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN stand for that country, I believe say a lot of the comments them way the people them, a lot of the comment them way the panelists and other callers them don't make is very unfair on this woman, because they're not able to understand. This is the problem where we get within the Sierra Leonean community. We quick for pass judgment upon people them without actually verifying the veracity and the truth and the accuracy of certain situations. Some people then go ask, say, why this scholar they try for say? I'm not saying there's not much time, but yes, absolutely. But I will just try for wrap them up quickly in few statements. For say one, when Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN was being victimized by the government through we all see videos them where then go na Sylvia BLYDEN host doctor, then go arrest and what a photo of the president. The ex-president rather, forgive me for the
it's all right.
Yes. So we now see the ex-president come out and make a statement about that, because imagine, he is the chairman of the political party of APC. He should have come out to make a statement with regards to that, or even a position statement from the APC party. But nothing like that was done. See people like Una waiting at the media. Una did a fabulous job, especially you, Mr. Prince. I see on your program you make a lot of advocacies for ensure say they release this outstanding woman. And mind you, we have a culture in Africa, not just Sierra Leone in particular, for victimized women that we stand out. And this is the particular fight where this woman fight. It's like because she's so powerful, she's so intelligent, she's so dynamic, she's so ebullient and effective in the political day of our generation. People there, especially we demanding they try for crash and down. And this is not correct within the African setting. If not America or UK, it not they happen. So you know what they talk about. So I mean, I am not a supporter of Dr. BLYDEN. I'm not a politician, but from the analysis, from which I don't see, we dey realize say una dey make a very unfair statement, especially the callers them against the woman. Why the chairman and leader of the party where the woman belong to no ever come out for defend the woman when incarcerator and nearly lost a life in prison? Now when the woman don't come out or stand out with things that will not go down well, people then they try for fight against the woman, say and not supposed for come out against the ex-president. Okay, that is just one point of it. Now let's go to the recent meeting between herself and that of the First Lady. Everybody knows say the First Lady, now a very young person, but in order now we good books because of waiting the current government don't do towards the people of Sierra Leone. But however, Sylvia don't show something where even me, I cannot accept in my own life. So she say, okay, despite all these things the way and don't go through, with all the molestation, they put on into female parts. Everybody know that is not a secret. I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but this is the reality of it. They do every type of bad within the police station onto the prison. Then it come out again. Forgive. In try for if they invite her on a meeting, in try for look. If Nami are not going even accept that, but in swallow in pride, he still accept for talk and meet to the First Lady. That don't show say Sylvia is a very good leader and get clean that and gets good attitude. Me not the accept, and I believe Mr. Prince and you and the panelists they not go accept such a thing. Well, this is the reason why people then go see the difference between Creole people and we the country people. This is what Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN has demonstrated: the Jesus Christ spirit, the forgiving spirit, the God spirit. No, trust me, this is not a laughing matter. It is truth. Now, in law, we get waiting and call resident style under the DRC policies. Under the DRC law. Now, when somebody is so overpowered by the emotion that possibility of concoction is highly restrained or not possible, this is what Sylvia don't show. With all the challenges we don't go through, she was able to embrace the Judas them, the bad people away don't sell away, don't try for one bad. So this that we want in Africa, we don't always kill, we perfect them before their time. This is what they did to Jesus. This is what they did to other people. So please, with me they say, I call on all Sierra Leoneans, let we embrace this woman. This woman, now an asset for we. Una don't know wait till something happen to this woman or then type of woman they will begin to say, hey, Sylvia is a hero. Sylvia is the mother of democracy. No, do that.
Okay.
This is the time now. Okay, so I'm sorry for taking much of you.
That's all right. We'll get a few other calls them, and I get a few questions for you. That's the only reason why I barged in, because well-respected views, but just few questions. The Creole and country thing where you mentioned, you sound offensive to few country people, and because of that analogy, the way you make. Yeah, I know, but that does not mean that you not get country they will not sell out. If we can put another way, so I do understand that, but that's not the main point I want to hit on, sir. You mentioned critically that when they go arrest Sylvia BLYDEN and the former president don't talk at all. But you don't know what the former president will have done in the background. You know, me say go come out in the public limelight for let it begin talk about him. And you mentioned critically in photograph. We're not to be at the center of the arrest. Now arrest and go for go arrest Sylvia, then just introduce the photograph as one of the things then we then go take into evidence. And that now you cite and you get very critical mind. How you relate that to the former president for come on and talk, where the initial arrest where then go for go to Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN was not about an escoma in picture. Assuming they not be even know say they did in a way then go inside there foolishly. It was so foolish. Why you go one for opine on that? If we the man we go introduce that, it end up for being, very, very foolish. And if not be any other state like you mentioned, like the first world war day, he would have been sacked. And I don't even know whether he's still in at the CID. But he was so ridiculous. Why you go one for let the ex-president weigh on something as trivial as that was? Will not be even material, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for this part of your questioning. I'm not going for delay much in response to your question. Now, the fact relates, let me just take a very sudden or very urgent or recent example we happen when they arrest I think the deputy spokesman of the opposition party, which Sylvia Tunis.
Yeah.
Would that then you see them go na the CID, not to members of the opposition.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, let's relate that or let's distinguish that, as we say in law, to the situation of Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN. You did not see any members of the opposition go and try for stand up for Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN. And
no, you can't say no, sir. That's
I'm still making my case.
But that's incorrect. It not means I can't interject. I know you're making your case. And we don't have all night, but the idea is that's not incorrect. You made a sweeping statement, but you not see any opposition stand up. That's not true. That's incorrect, sir.
Okay. Well, even if that is slightly untrue, where I still go challenge say it is very true that the APC party as a party did not stand up for her at that moment in time until
unfortunately, if I can vouch,
that is why I already gave you the kudos, because some of the Kasada Kitchens, the other people on media, because some of we can just see things on Facebook, we can follow up what is happening in the country when we actually talk for Sylvia BLYDEN more than any political party, because she was so disappointed. Even members of her family, we are so disappointed.
Sir, like what you in because you've made 1 minute. We get 3 callers they wait, but I just want to make 2 quick points to me brother where they call. So again, the reason why I push back on that nobody from the opposition stood up for Dr. BLYDEN, we just not agree with it. Because despite Dr. BLYDEN, you can't tell me say people within the party where they support him. You wouldn't say that the party against her.
What I'm talking about is the especially the chairman and leader.
Okay, one last one for me.
If
Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN for give Fatima bill. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely. Let's see, for example, who extended an old brand to the other.
That's exactly what I want for Fatima. You are a lawyer. You're a lawyer. According to who? Who said so?
Well, good. According to the information received.
From whom? From whom? Let me the wait. From whom?
I be really want to say something, because my brother don't make some generalization, and we need correction.
I mean, no. We understand.
No, it's also Christian.
Waiting me one for no.
You don't make some serious
learning call for me. Could I extend the order to be because you already say now the first lady now is so I can put her down on my diary. So you say according to the release by whom, and then you explain. The other co-host will make a point. So go listen to the rest of it on because I see the one shows, and I go talk to you after the program.
Justice, but you have to do justice.
So what's the justice in your terms, sir? What in the justice? What in the justice?
You they talk about justice. You say EBK.
Yeah,
you say
Imran, hold on. Imran, hold your thoughts 1 minute, please. You will get time for talk.
Please.
Yeah. Go ahead, sir. Justice. Yeah.
Yes, Imran, you don't have to be so vexatious and biased.
Leave Imran alone. You know, get all the time. Attest to me quickly. You know, say we'll go for do justice.
Let me make my case.
Yes, please.
As quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Yes. So as written in Latin, they say nothing deterres a good person from doing what's honorable. And I think this is what this woman has been doing.
Okay.
I'm not that type of person that is a politician or otherwise. I just want to this is the best.
Okay. Well said, sir. And of course, we appreciate you view and the back and forth, of course, not to understand each other. But there's nothing critical you've got to say about Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN, and especially in this case, in your view, she's absolutely right. Point well noted and taken. Thank you. Let's go to the next caller. Imran, who you thought you go summarize later? We get a few people that we want to call. Where are you calling from and your name, please?
My name,
And you're calling from?
New York.
Many thanks from New York, Musa Conte. Conte from New York. Go ahead, sir, make your point.
All right, what I want to call, especially with this past, I just which I did, this guy, we just talk, this salon, but the problem I get, exactly most of the time, people there, we can talk, this one can there, they're not can verify. And they say this not happen, the opposition to woman happen in Africa, which is a blatant lie that the only happen, they happen the world over. Hillary Clinton I would vilify as a woman. So the West is not to a prime example by everything. It's not by anywhere. So for the blame Africa no matter it just now the niggas we will get for look we self inwardly now it don't bring lack of going anywhere. You cannot go progress because they defeat yourself before we even.
Thank you very much, Mr. Musa. And the point on this particular Musa, but you make a brilliant point, and I agree with you. We live in the first world, and sometimes we like to make that comparison as if it's all angelic and whatever on that. It is not true. We got the first women to vote for the side and many other things. It's not really working for us in many ways. You see the other side X and the other side Y.
Before even the Western world, in terms of women, I think we have the parliamentarian.
That's very true, sir.
So why we always, as Sierra Leone in particular, always select for defeat yourself because we compare Western world, but even think the way not deserving. And I feel say this man an admirer of Sylvia when he talk because I know feel say even if I feel offended. If you know somebody when a lady, the way they take things, so what I said, you will go further with anything. Behave the way they behave. So for the cost man, for the do this, because a woman. I don't feel that they fear because when I don't get a relationship before, no matter what happen in the former president, I don't feel say if I go this, you don't get a good thing. We don't happy between them, but get no iota of thought say, that thing say this team be not happy for me and this guy. Me not to an admirer of any person, of course, me not to government admirer anyway. So, but this way, where do you go too far fetch? And I don't feel say if even if they wrong you, just because they're wrong, you don't mean say now if you think go extreme, because then they go negate your right. No, see this guy in admirer, just admirer for BLYDEN, and just because sometimes emotional or you get an opinion on a particular topic, not mean you're right. Okay. The emotion not mean that everybody they carry with them. Use the emotion for bring an argument. There's the people that get not sorry for a person, so everybody feel sorry for them. Okay. So everybody get your opinion.
Okay.
You see, most of the just try for.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anytime, and we really appreciate your call and your contribution to the program. Saying in New York, you go manage for spread the word out there. Then another people and go continue for watch. Your truth being spoken.
I'm a avid listener anyway.
Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated and good night. Good morning. Okay. Famulem, here we are. I know you've been holding your thoughts, caller, put on hold 4 calls. But let me hear you thought quickly before we get the next caller.
No, because my brother we come earlier on the lawyer, I find out for say he very, very disingenuous. First and foremost, he views the no balance because he starts by saying Anes Nkrumah quiet. Anes Nkrumah has been uncomfortably quiet for all of us.
Line, yeah? We'll put
Anes Nkrumah has been uncomfortably quiet for all of us. He not talk for Palo, he not talk for anybody. So I go can claim say it will be different from Sylvia BLYDEN. He not talk for anybody. SLPP they all over the man they
Okay.
crash.
Okay.
SLPP
Thank you.
and
Thank you for that. Thank you for that
the man gets
point, Imran. Just for add to what you say, when that episode they unfold, Dr. BLYDEN also coming out SLAJ, the Sierra Leone Association of, and I personally take up that case. They up to the Secretary General, the President of SLAJ, Mr. Nasrallah. It's like, why didn't you guys come out, then say then do in their own way? Dr. BLYDEN is not a member of SLAJ. So if you're not a member of SLAJ, the position we then go take is different from the normal position we then go take for that of one of theirs. Yeah. So just want to make that the public. We got another caller on the line. Let's get straight to this caller.
That just done this waiting here.
Yeah, go on, Iman, quickly.
Then it's right for make up a
keep this
gender
guy
issue. When it comes to Sylvia, not a gender issue. Junior, Sylvia don't jump na Yvonne it's go to the call and Tiffy. He don't jump na the accountant general it's go. Sylvia not left nobody. Sylvia he attack them indiscriminate. And where they talk about Salon people and the treat woman and bad. Salon are the first country where woman they vote. Woman they vote na Sierra Leone 1792. When 1918, woman they vote in England. So sometimes when they talk them, they would a big Latin and all that thing. Una make sure say una informed. Not over just can't pull Latin and waiting. So Salon gets a very good record in how they treat women. Women vote.
Okay, Imran. Okay, Imran. At least
way before any country votes at the world.
At least it was good for a dissenting view and somebody was speaking on behalf of Dr. BLYDEN. Just that not find any fault in Dr. BLYDEN in the outlier. Let me hear it from this caller. Your name and who side the call from, please. Caller?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, the line is yours, but you need to identify yourself and who side the call from, sir.
Hello?
You need for forget about watching the program because they interfere with the conversation. You watch them on the same thing that we talk to. So forget about the program, watch and later and see how you perform. So cut that off and talk, please. Your name and who side you they call from.
Okay, Anim Baba.
Okay, you call from?
Yes.
Where you they call from?
Sierra Leone.
Yeah, go ahead, Baba. Go ahead, please.
Okay. When you talk, when will you the people in the whole of this Sylvia issue? To me, I'm ready.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I think say yes, they put up somewhere na Banjul. From there, them find a way na like Fatima be take Sylvia like a mama or a big sister.
Yeah.
So if he think about they come back together, now the same reunion for let them be back like how them in there. No problem with that. But anytime we want somebody fight a battle, you for look who say you the step and how you the conscious of yourself where you take a step. Let us step the way you take, not militate against you to move. Sierra Leone na a gullible nation in terms of politics. As Sabi people away, you call Sylvia name, you talk negative, you are in trouble. As Sabi the kind people in there, now that they use certain words them na social media, I can say so they call them people and they PV them or call them. I said that you talk so about Sylvia. He said no, well, this man no pass mark. This man no pass mark. So anything in this world, no follow you right there. Who doesn't you? And that's the present situation. Everybody knows Sylvia and Kokulbe. Take Badigo Junction, where Sylvia they come out, you don't.
Yeah. Okay.
Look where the popularity they drop. Then one great thing. Now you check in the case of the mayor. If you go to the safety. Now, and one thing about life who I don't learn. Use up the unsung heroes. You ever reach that peak where certain people and they reach, regardless of your education, regardless of your intelligence.
Yeah.
If the mayor, they get an edge over you. I think, say, now 3 bright talents that are respected in this country. You get Mayor Akisoya, you get Sylvia BLYDEN, you get Nasu Fofana, because the 3 people that they don't work with, they don't see how they behave. They are very professional. But now look how you don't cut from them to the day. Look the gap between them in terms of popularity, in terms of support. Sylvia, I just pray to God. He go get one big person among the Creole. We go yes.
Okay.
As they get our language, they say, we they go yes. Let them go yes. Let them know. Say, waiting people let me know for. It knows every day.
Thank you very much.
So,
thank you very much, brother, and we really appreciate this. And the whole world is listening to you, and it sounds like a really balanced view because you make it clear from your voice and your intonation. You sound like you like Dr. Sylvia very, very much. You're a big admirer of her. But yeah, I agree, and I feel the genuineness in what you say. This is not hypocrisy. And you wish that somebody go draw in yes. I like that. Drawing yes. But it depends on whether the doctor go listen for drawing yes and say you've gone too far. Look where they react. Now that's I forget for ask the last caller. Whether the way how Dr. BLYDEN they react, as huge as she is, to some things them, whether it correct. Let me listen to one more caller. Thank you very much. We get one more caller on the line. Let's hear what this caller has to say. Hello, caller, your name and where you're calling from, please.
This is Janet Martha Musa here. I don't follow the program. I want to say thank you, Prince, and then also to Imran Toure. I mean, it's always a gem when you get any program.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, sister, the floor is yours. Let's hear you.
Yes, and all the callers that we call in, they make points and where we get for looking to some points we don't agree with. Some of the points ring home true and clear. Waiting really me want to see tonight. I did write on the thread. Interesting days ahead, because when we see the kind of display now Sierra Leone at this time, politically speaking, therefore forgive me, I get a little bit noise in the background. We just say watch them and say when we are fighting for women to occupy the political space in Sierra Leone, we get women and now we try for pull and come in the comedy space. So I am just going to make it quick and short to say that there are interesting days ahead. I don't get enough time for talking. I get a very noisy background. Forgive me.
Yeah, but before I can't let you go, although you make a great point, she's gone. As usual, make a quick critical point and she's gone. At the come to you shortly, Imran. Just one for let we acknowledge some people at the page and then comments them, which is a culture platform. We'll go through that quickly and maybe you go pick up a point or two. Abdullah Kamara, please, Mr. Moderator, find another thing to talk about. Okay, Mr. Kamara, I don't know what else you can suggest. We look forward. We is open. Mustafa Fode Ture, ha ha ha. I don't know why was that laugh. This man is interesting. I don't know which man. Junior Cabo, you are the most unserious individual to spew such garbage. Okay, people are having fun in the platform, although it's serious with you they talk. George Orwell always want to listen to. I see Sylvia BLYDEN as a champion after 2 mouses at the same time, and unfortunately, she will lose both. That is how I see. Okay, that's your view. Adam Mambu, Imran is making my night. Love this guy. God bless him. Ooh, Imran is smiling now. Leah Grant, Sylvia is crazy. Alimami Kamara, this caller in it wrong. I don't know which caller. What exactly are you trying to allude to? Med Wuri, don't know who he was referring to. This caller is clueless. That person named they almost like in Amharic or Jewish language. Mohammed Turet, is rather unfortunate that you will have expected the former president to have come out to issue a statement when the party was to be done at that material time. And I see why you yourself as concerned citizen as you cannot identify, and it went on and on. Okay. Junior, this caller is missing. He doesn't seem to know the subject. Alimami Kamara. She made those allegations against the law enforcement body. Get him off the Alimami Kamara. She's no asset for the APC. That person disagreed with me. Med Wuri, so you mean former president should have stooped so low to defend her cluelessly? BLYDEN is fighting with everyone in the APC. I guess he meant BLYDEN. This guy is SLPP. I don't know who's referring to. So forth and so on. And there are a few other. Sori Ibrahim Kano, being inconsistent in politics has a devastating repercussion on those irritating issues. Alusain Ibrahim Kamara, she's now SLP. Interesting. Imran, your views, please.
Yes,
Imran,
sir.
are you there? Your views,
here,
please.
Sir.
Your views. You've been
All right, okay. My brother be they try for make this thing a gender issue. You not got anything for do with gender. That woman they do a war indiscriminately, irregardless whether you're not Creole, whether you're not man, you're not woman. Then in can't try for talk for saying a man in the fetter. No, Sylvia declare war against everybody, and if for no for say the gentleman for no for saying that's make America lost the war. And Britain lost the war against America because we defeat several fronts them at the same time. If she's bound to lose, like what my brother away call from New York say, me self now be get interest in a woman. A lot of people let me get interest in them. But Motamano go so tragais where you so determined that you not prepare whether you hot, whether you step on. Because you not get what you want, you get to bring the whole building down. And you have nobody else to hurt but yourself and everybody around you. And now waiting it on, they try for do now. If Sylvia not happy at the party, nobody not for happy inside APC. And that's a lot of people and reject. Even me self, that's what I reject. If you so detest the party, you not like the party, where you not get that you punches and go and give everybody a break and peace. She hasn't done that. And one maybe sister Zainab say, na be padito. It not ever be padito anybody because anybody with a blackmail. Now that's make the Western countries them. They're not a negotiate when it comes to blackmailing. They're not a compromise them. They're not a compromise at all when it comes to blackmail. Because when person blackmail, it gets away with them. It go do them again. Now so it gets a ministerial position. He blackmail and it's blackmail and he blackmail and for keep and quiet, they call him in. So whenever he gets issues there for deal with, he don't resort back from blackmailing. And it's not right. It's not good for the party. It's not good for himself. and not good for the peace of the country. You know,
So
Fatima,
Imran, let me ask you.
not to peace you want for make with Fatima.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. I mean, don't ask you as we go deeper and towards the very end of the program. How you remember? Say I asked you this earlier.
Yes.
But how you see this play out politically? Because man, we understand the political landscape in terms of the huge party they are. Election is looming large, and one of the people they say Sylvia get for form an alliance with become you know for occupy some space of relevance because the APC the way it of the player now. This is one school of thought. They must circulate down as well because she's so vehemently opposed to the mayor of Freetown, Akisoya. It's in a position where he the eye. And because he get Creole credential as one of the callers they say, he for fit in that position there. So now that make SLPP tap him up. So effectively, although not officially, we might soon hear some news because we yes the crack. If we keep you yes to the gun as we country people then go say you go hear FCC, municipality of Freetown, mayor associated with Dr. BLYDEN in name, especially with this new relation with Fatima Bio. What say you?
My brother, the unfortunate situation is quite a lot of people and they use common sense when they look that in there. The woman to start with, they say charity begins at home. The woman, waiting it starts with, you don't born in home. You don't get roof na eat in Freetown. Why you feel to say if they run the go Kailan? Now, because you don't get any home-based support, the Creole community, they right behind Yvonne and not her. And you see, let not be but banana. SLPP, they said they're in a similar position as Sylvia BLYDEN. SLPP knows very well they're not going to win any free and fair elections. They are desperate. So then they look for different permutations, ways them for make their rig these elections. So they won't forget any unholy alliance for just Madabio stay in power. So Sylvia BLYDEN are one of them people and they way desperately they in at war with APC. So they feel to say if they make that kind of union there with Sylvia BLYDEN will bring people in from SLPP. Sylvia BLYDEN not get anybody for Kergo because even the grassroots not happy with them. So it go empty-handed. So for SLPP, I don't feel to say an investment. This woman not an investment, it's a liability. I'm saying this very, very convinced. And at the same with Alpha Khan, they are both liability, not to assets them. So right, she's gone there. What is she going to take for them? The Creole vote, it not gets control over them because they're not disown and long term. So what is he going to take to them? Pass Iker Afab Goshi.
I mean, the last brother talk about something almost on a tribal line, and you know, mean that way there, not also I mean about now something like that actually they talk now make a bot in quickly. So Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN not get the Creole vote, so if then they associate them with the mayorship na Freetown, you they say that is a no-go for them because they not get that credential. Now that exactly they say, Imran?
Yeah, they're dancing with the Creole enemy because the Creole they see him as a black sheep. They see him because
and Femi Claudius Cole na Creole not so. Femi Claudius Cole na
Creole
Creole not so.
Yes.
Lara Piastelo na Creole not so.
Yes.
Okay.
But this woman not get much for do with the Creole community. He don't estrange himself by the way he behave. And let me tell you one thing about the Creole man. The Creole man say, what you do at the left hand, let the right hand not know. Creole man say, give you much cooler. Take 10 talk. The way when Sylvia they talk, Creole man not the tolerator. Creole man is very skillful when he come and talking. And Creole man they use the yai more than they talk. And Sylvia no know yai. Sylvia na Sonyogi no know yai.
Imran, you sure say you don't get Creole background, eh? Then Grandpa Ibula in the pool, so now how you land them.
Well, I do well with the Creole man, and I know how the Creole man they think. And honestly, they see him as a total unfortunate disaster. waiting to happen. The woman a volcano. You know, the magma there. Anybody will meet in the bottom. Anybody will meet in the bottom, and you're not able for maintain friendship. Not to forget they make friends then. Even here in Fatima building, they don't cause bad cost in the public.
Absolutely.
She falls out with everybody she comes across. And that is not a good way to be in politics. Politics, nah, about relationship. It's about relationships. Building bridges. Making new relationship, holding on to the old ones them. Negotiating, agree to disagree, but without animosity. But this woman, it cost the former president he left. And that man, they get a lot of power at APC. Oh, you can say anything about an Eskroma, you go dislike him all you want. But that man gets huge following. Let me tell you something. You see, Butcher not they complain if cow get bossy. Because if cow get bossy for Butcher, na more beef. So, what's in this woman, they talk, say the beef get no boy, this, that, the Butcher not they complain that. And Eskroma is fine. And Eskroma gets a huge vote inside the APC. Yes, he gets people that will not like him. But when you defect, be careful. Pick your battles.
Including yourself. You've been very critical of scathing attack on the former president. But at least you understand the balance.
Yes. Because now we leader right now. If you talk, say they bring a candle, they bring the whole institution down. And people, they don't tell you this. They don't encourage you, say, look, measure you attack them. But when they come out now, they talk for, say, the former president, he left the peace abate. Me man, this woman say, it gets academic credentials. How you go hold somebody responsible for another adult behavior? If Adebayo says something negative about you, every adult is responsible for their actions. How you go hold an Eskroma and he was responsible for Adebayo behavior? But come on.
In me view, because I think say that a tactic or strategy way for dinner people in kit box. So first of all, the doctor see himself on an elevated status, although, and this now forget for ask that caller, an elevated status, but it allow himself to be drawn into the gutter, the annals of gutter politics in our country. So much so that they use languages them, which is uncharacteristically supposed not for be in. But of course, she don't drag herself here to that point. But if you see yourself, like say you and somebody not equal, and the person they attack you, and they suspect say they attack you in behalf of a person, for hurt the person is a tactic, it's a chess move. You get go for the higher up instead of the person below. You know things that the tactic and the way they try for use, and they do and simultaneously call the other one puppy, and then attack the one way they suspect.
That is a very cheap tactics. Very cheap tactics. To an extent, you use profanity, then you come back say, I'm not denying them. I did it. You not person will talk for say you get presidential
ambitions.
Is that how you're going to rule the country? Anybody will not agree with you, come in the public, you curse him, mama, then you talk for say, I stand by my word. I curse him, mama, and I go curse him, mama back. But come on. That is tasteless. That is classless. That is visionless. That's not get any good repetition. And you being a woman and woman in politics, is that how you do it? Then you not only stop play. It come out, they go attack somebody in another country, an independent sovereign country, just because that person they call and congratulate the mayor in our country, we happen for come from the same tribe as you, we show a great propensity where we all as alone for be proud. All Sylvia needed to say, whether elect Yvonne or not, all she should have said is, Yvonne, congratulations, darling.
Read out, Iman, when it come to the end of this program, read out one comment to you quickly, let you address them for the benefit of the audience. This now Sa Koidema. You guys don't think elections is about number. If Alpha Khan Sylvia defect to SLPP, you don't think it's a minus on APC? Remember that Sylvia has huge following around the country and Alpha Khan has enormous support in Potloko. What do you say about that? This now a comment from somebody where they participate in the chat room. You want me to read that again, sir? Did you get it?
I get the question, and some people they don't say that, and the only people that when they say that now SLPP then feel to see then two quantities then they na assets. They aren't. And I go make
well, it's a reasonable proposition, Imran. I mean, somebody within the
I am coming. Right now, all waiting APC need for do house cleaning. They don't have to do anything because SLPP has done all the job for them. They don't hang themselves publicly. There is no way I can challenge anybody in the free and fair elections. I let them take another number 5 and number 6 by APC, then can go SLPP. I don't think anything Madabi do now go change, go save in neck. Because to start with, politics is about trust. You are there to serve the people. They've been there. Not to matter you talk for saying don't always he puts a documents where he say he go give the people them. He say he don't do everything. But what he fail for realize, he not be telling say they give them bridge. He tell them for say he could speculate waiting he need for do the bridge. But then they will not get a report about the speculations. But he say he don't do everything. You see, so really and truly, he knows he cannot win the elections. So he look for every unholy alliance. Waiting APC need for focusing just right now, I'm telling you, let them clean the house. Because
the show is not about what the APC need for do now. For with all due respect. Well, I'll read some comments quickly. Some of them go warm. Some of them go warm. Imran, you don't have to make the point. You don't have to.
Then they do the work for APC because all the people that went at the bad material them now then they take. You get me? So they don't take 2 virus. The other balanced virus, they let them take them. So they go set APC free. Because then people are more of obstacle and cause for APC.
Okay, Imran, when we come towards the end of the show, I want to read some comments quickly. Ahmed Kamara says, Sylvia is sick in her head. I can't really pick any point in her. And Profana Mohammed AB says, Imran, now your opinion, not fact. Fatima Tafudi Kamara just laughed. I don't know what she's laughing at, but of course there are many things to laugh at tonight's program. Medwuri watching live from Kabbalah. Wow, Kabbalah, greetings from the TNN Media Empire. Thank you so much, brother, for watching. Alusain Abraham Kamara. She's not a role model for young generation women. I believe that is going to Dr. Sylvia BLYDEN. Fode Mustafa Toure. Imran's parable are very interesting. He makes me laugh all the time. It's Alex and I bother because I get the same last name. Almami Kamara, the APC is bigger than Alpha Khan. Bala Lamak. I think the problem with Sylvia is she thinks she knows it all and everyone should follow and subdue to her ideas. Simply, she feels so superior of herself. Okay. Two last reading. After 2024 election, Samora Kamara, this guy, remark. After 2024 election, APC go learn to respect their members' views and not send their munku uneducated supporters to cost election. It's about numbers. Okay. That was Samora Kamara. Rugiatu Mansaredi, APC is bigger than everyone. They both are nothing. What I know is they are not relevant. They are truly virus. Okay, somebody just substantiate you claim. Imran, you need for wrap-up program, and I give you the last word. Imran?
Yes, my dear brother. The best thing we
need to wrap up the program, and I give you the last word, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you, my brother. I feel to say these are the best favor SLPP they do for APC. All the people them we get that scorn, that bitterness and vendetta, let them take them all, make them reduce the burden and wait by APC, let APC light. Then we'll turn back and beat them by the elections. Because at then very people they already take, that then they destabilize the APC. So if Sylvia don't jump ship, just like how Mr. Kanu don't knock Jamawas, my brother, that is a good thing for APC. Because you know, say the man I talk saying in apprentice, And when you're an apprentice, when you knock jamawas, most times, you can go for dona, they must go end up then coach you. Now that's make any time where accident take place and say, somebody died and say nobody know that I passed the apprentice. So now the apprentice here go die. APC not go die.
Okay, wow. That's just a short summation of the entire program and brilliantly said, and we end on a very, very high note. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind you now, this is not the TNN Media Empire. On Facebook right now, we get over 230 live viewers, and we are ending the program. So I ask you now, begin for de-escalate now, because one of the things we will not like for doing on this platform, now for rudely just cut off the program. So you must have been, the program must have been so interesting that people and they continue for watch. On Facebook, we get over 150 or 140. And on YouTube, where they broadcast to simultaneously, over 230. It don't begin to reduce. Now we get 220. So continue for wind down, but we are closing the program now. But just before I go, not forget for join me on Sunday. You know, the propagandists, they have been having a feast, a he-day, telling lies to the Sierra Leonean people. And this platform is stand for nothing but the truth. So help us God. And this is what we do here. We try for articulate points, elucidate material, put out material until we people them, and give citations and references. So we not just the talk, but we walk the walk as well. So on this Sunday, with a lot of things that's been happening in terms of developmental strides, where the SLPP government led by His Excellency Julius Maada Bio they try for do, to which do much of waiting and promise for do as yet. But of course, it's a government, but knowing fully well on this platform and with many other views that development is not an event, now a continuous process. But until we accept that and left this propaganda that when you they continue somebody else in project and then you want to take the accolade, especially the foot soldiers and the minions, where they try for mislead the Sierra Leonean people, we feel that it's high time for begin for kickback on them lies there where then they tell the Sierra Leonean people. So it is in this light that on Sunday, we they begin a very special program where we believe say go to run for the rest of the time until we decide say, okay, we've had enough of it. But the maiden program will start tomorrow. We haven't found a fitting name as yet. We might continue with the name, Debunking the Lies. Debunking the Lies. And we begin with the Magbele Bridge and the Mabang Bridge and the subsequent project then based on relevant information, significant information, verified information, and this now with we international partners we happen for be the EU, we provide over 40 million euro for them project. Then they not only then 2 bridges then they where certain people are trying to claim. When we make the former president been come out at one time because he not be able for beer, he can't talk inside. So tomorrow we go produce facts as to under whose leadership they initiate that thing. The reason why we talk again, because there's so much talk on social media. Oh, Magbele Bridge. The man be the past there for 11 years. You know, make him, this, that. I mean, listen, we need for elevate the conversation. If you want to keep on that cheap, we will continue for expose you. So not forget for join we on Sunday. Okay? This Sunday where they come for a view on debunking the lies. We're going to be a regular program on this platform. And hopefully Mr. Imran Ture go help for co-host this program. And if I'm not available, then obviously Ingo host the program. And if he's not available, then I go serve as host and co-host as well. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been a Den and Now production, the channel of the moment. I want to say thank you to you, Imran. And I will talk to you in camera. Good night and goodbye.
Thank you.